Hi everyone, it's Mike here again. This is the inevitable video that I'm having to do on COINCE. I've made about 4 different videos on COINCE, each one giving an in-depth rundown as to what COINCE was, how they operated, where they're based, and how they constructed this elaborate scam. And unfortunately, if people bothered to take the time to see what this scam was all about, it was easy to easy to see that it was a scam from day one. Unfortunately, most people tend not to pay attention to the obvious when it comes to money. They tend to be clouded by the dollar signs. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to quickly go through and just to briefly run down how the scam actually works. Basically, it's basically lulling people into a false sense of security. The way that the site is constructed, it looks professional. It was well designed, well crafted. The back end was very well run. People got paid on time, on a regular basis, and so as soon as people were paid, then everything else goes out the window. They got paid, they were happy, and they basically believed everything that was said on the site. Now, the site itself, if any of you can remember when COINCE first came out, it was actually running at 2%. And you could actually say to yourself, okay, that's a fairly sustainable figure at 2%, and it was running along quite well. But if you just decided to think for yourself and dug around, you will have noticed, after having read the text, that the start date of the company wasn't as they said. All of the copy here that they've used to describe the company, it's all a pack of lies. What I did in my original video was I broke down their annual reports. I showed you what their earnings were for the preceding years, and if from memory serves me right, I think from 2008 to 2012. There was no turnover for this company, who claimed to be power supplies and equipment multinational corporation. All lies, complete lies, and I've laid it all out for you in my previous video. Among many other things, if you just took the time just to check around the videos, there's some clown standing in front of a green screen with a pretend office in the background. So many people believe that that's true. This is a common thing in a lot of hypes these days. With the power of green screen, they can actually present themselves as being anywhere. And in this instance, it was as an office environment. It sells. It makes people feel good. All these testimonials, these are all jokers, complete fabrication. These 2 characters, along with all the others, you can pop over to a site called Fiverr.com, and you will see them selling their acting skills for $5 for a gig. That's how these sites work. If you don't believe me, just click on any one of these. Both of these are actually on Fiverr, and just having viewed these 2 videos, go over to Fiverr and you'll trace them. You'll find them there selling their wares. What else can I say? One of the early days again, when COINCE first came out, this particular certificate, they've changed it since. But if you click on it, it comes up as a sample. Now, anybody who runs a company or is part of a company knows that if you've got a certificate, you're not going to display a sample certificate, are you? I mean, this was a dead giveaway again. Even then, everything about this site was such a giveaway. I just cannot believe people fell for this. And this bit of copy here, this has been rewritten about 3 or 4 times. Again, when it was running at 2%, this particular paragraph was not there. Bitcoin was never mentioned. It was purely a power supplies and equipment company. I think about a month ago, the actual copy actually overrun here, but they've since cut back and changed it yet again. This is constantly changing, or did constantly change regular. But if you took the time just to keep an eye on these things, you would have noticed these little things here changing as they went along. What else can I say? They changed. Actually, let me click onto Alexa. Now, Alexa charts the rise of COINCE, and this is when I did my first video. It was around about the April time, and normally with these hypes, when they peak, that's when you've got to start worrying. And COINCE actually peaked round about this time. That's my first video, and then I predicted that they would kind of end round about the May-June time. Okay, but unbeknownst to me, as the actual the chart here was beginning to, and there's very slight descent here, then they introduced the 3%, and the 3% interest percentage daily kicked in, and the actual ranking slightly kicked up. It was going up and down, very, very slightly. If I zoom in just to show you, you can see that it was kind of bubbling along here, going up, going down, going up, going down, but overall it was slightly going down. Okay, and then we got to here, and then it took another kind of kick off there. It was kind of went crazy there. I don't know why, but when we look back, it's the 18% daily. So after the 3% started to wane, it was obvious by then. Actually, it was obvious to me at April, but it was obvious to anyone who was thinking to know that the whole COINCE was on a descent, is in the descendants there. It's going down. Nothing could revive it from there. So they had to pull something out the hat. Okay, now they must have decided round about here, anywhere between there and there, you know, what's their get out plan? What are they going to do? Now, with a lot of Hyips, they simply just disappeared. They just shut up shop. Some of the really clever ones, and COINCE, I've got to take my hat off to them, were very, very clever. They've obviously hatched a plan where they're going to depart, but they're going to depart in a big way. And what a lot of these Hyips do, they come up with a new scheme or a plan in which they can finally rinse the members for one last hooray before they go. And this instance, it was the 18% daily for 10 calendar days. I despair sometimes that how people can expect to receive 18% daily for 10 calendar days. Where that 80% is going to suddenly come from out of the blue, because the program hasn't changed. It's still doing the same thing. They claim to be doing Bitcoin mining. As far as I know, Bitcoin hasn't jumped that much in the last few weeks. If anything, it's slightly declined. And I really don't know. There's nothing else to say where that 18... Anyway, people believe this. And they had an amount of packs that they were going to be sold. I think they had, 7,000. Okay. And they were going to sell 7,000 at $500 each. That's a lot of money. That's a chunk of money. People piled in, thrown in their cash into this. On my last video before this, I promised I wouldn't do any more videos on COINCE because I was been getting a lot of terrible emails from people telling me I don't know what I'm talking about. You know, they've made money, they've got this, and that, and the other. And COINCE is a bona fide company, and it's always going to be around. So I thought, okay, my last video was going to be the last one on it. And someone said I should have done one for this because this is it. This is the exit strategy, and they had no intention of paying anyone this amount of money. And if anyone who actually believe this, please, guys, you've really got to think ahead next time, please. Now, although they probably collected all 7,000, but they've just left the site up, and the site is still up at the moment. And what they've done, rather than sell the 7,000, apparently they've sold 8,077. They've actually sold more than they originally planned. Okay, and not only have they sold more, but they've taken all the money and they've now gone. Absolutely unbelievable. I think this is the biggest Hyip scam of the year, as far as I know. There may be bigger ones, but this is the biggest one I know. This has taken millions and millions and millions of dollars. These guys have done very well indeed. Very clever, very well planned, and they've actually got out on top. They couldn't have planned it any better. And as a farewell, they've left their latest withdrawals here, and these are just ticking over. But if you do a search and you look for Hyip, what are they called? They monitor Hypes online and tell you who's paying. They all say that COINCE is scammed and COINCE is not paying. But at the same time, they've got here the latest withdrawals, and these are all supposed to be people who are being paid. But in effect, nobody's been paid, and this in itself is like another scam as well, pretending that people are being paid when they're not. So that is it in a nutshell. COINCE is gone. People have lost money. Sorry to report the bad news, but this was always going to be the case. And may this be a lesson to everybody who was considering putting money into any of these programs. So on that note, I hope this hasn't been too painful a lesson to people, but this is a lesson learnt. So if you need to find out how these people have managed to stage this, subscribe or just do a search for one of my previous videos. I've done about 3 or 4 previous videos to this, and I've broken it down bit by bit, and I've given you the actual start and now finish of this program, and how I've actually constructed this whole thing. It's very clever, but once you understand how these guys operate, it will protect you in the future if you still consider going for these type of programs. Okay, that's me done with this video. I'll see you on the next one. If you need some more information, subscribe, then I'll let you know when the next video is coming out. And if you need to contact me, details in the description below, and I'll see you guys soon. Okay, bye. Also, guys, just as an add-on, if you know anybody who's actually considering putting money into this particular program, please tell them no. They've very craftily left the program up. It's still online, it's still visible, people are still actually buying packs, so please warn as many people as you know. Tell them that this is no longer paying and it's gone scammed, and so they don't end up being one of these people here who have actually bought a pack, although the program has gone down. So that's just a word of advice. If you can help others prevent people from losing money, that'll be great. Okay guys, see you soon.